Alrighty, folks. Welcome back for episode 9. Last episode, we managed to get the P16 and the White Western Star up here to the garage. And this episode, we are going after the Twinsteer. And to do that, we're going to need some metal. We're also probably going to need some wood. But let's start with the metal. We're going to need the metal for weight. I can't think of anything else that we're going to need it for to use. I suppose it might be a delivery somewhere, but probably not. In these early maps, there's less of the just deliver a bunch of goods missions. But we'll see where we end up. Taking off with a full tank of fuel and a previously almost fully repaired truck. I really hope that repair trailer down in Drummond has enough of the goods to get what we need done. But we'll see. Yeah, that last one was a bit of an adventure. As I'm a little behind, I'm doing multiple episodes today, so I've had a little more coffee since that last one. A little more awake. So let's see what we managed to do this episode. After finally pulling the rabbit out of the hat and getting the white, I'm feeling good. I am going to take a... maybe not. Let's have a think here. Because I want to go this way. Because it's the shortest path to the Twinsteer. But if I go this way, I have to take this trailer. I need that trailer to repair that truck. And with the repair cost, it's going to take the whole truck, or the whole trailer. Alternatively, well, we go up the mountain, we go into Drummond. In Drummond, we pick up this service trailer, and we drag it all the way down and around to this gateway. But that puts us on the wrong side of Island Lake. It puts us clear over here. The Twinsteer is all the way up here in the corner. Now, as I recall, this road is not particularly bad. And honestly, once we get the Twinsteer... Now I'm wondering if it's better to take the Twinsteer back this way also. Because then we can refuel, pick up the wood. So we need 4 wood to knock out these bridges over here. There's a pair of them here. It shows as 1, but there's 2. And you need 2 lumber for each. There's not a repair trailer here, is there? I don't see one. Doesn't mean there isn't one, because we haven't really scouted. Let's just stick to the original plan. We'll go the long way, we'll take the repair trailer in Drummond, and we'll haul lumber with us. How about that? Because I don't need, like, super weight. If I'm not going through the swamp down there, I don't need beams kind of weight. I could probably make it without any cargo, but it will be helpful to have something. We're also, at some point, going to bring the white down here and move that trailer. So I am tired of driving around it. Just going to make a beeline for my objective here. See if we can play with a purpose. see what we can manage to get knocked out. There's those pesky resetting barriers. And actually, because we're running empty here, we should be able to take the shortcut no problem. That'll knock a good bit of time off the trip. Now, it's not that one, because that's the one I always think it is. Yeah, that's the one to go up to the radio tower or whatever. We do need to pull that Jeep out and sell the upgrades off of it, because that is definitely not going to be our scout vehicle moving forward. I think we're going to stick with the Chevy for now. Either the Chevy or possibly the International 800. Haven't quite decided. This is the shortcut. So all the traction is our friend. Oh, look at it go. Sorta, kinda. Man, I miss good tires. That's alright, we'll be there soon. I'm kind of doing this on purpose. Normally, what I would say is the play here is to leave all of these trucks just absolutely rot in place until you've at least ranked up enough to put good tires on something, because then retrieving all of them is that much easier. But that's no fun. Why do that when I can go around and struggle? Because I believe we're running all-terrain tires right now, which are better than highway tires, but in the same way that Brussels sprouts are better than fish tacos, which is to say neither's a great option. But if I had to pick one, give me some Brussels sprouts, throw a little butter on there, and I will make do. Not a fish taco guy. I don't know who thought of that. It's a terrible idea. In fact, the closest thing I would eat to a fish taco would be something like a properly prepared ceviche. That's pretty good. But it's not a fish taco. People who do fish tacos are just odd. I think we can lose the diff lock here. Ooh, maybe. I forgot how steep this is. We might need it back. Let's just take it back to avoid losing momentum. Ooh, yeah. Any longer and we'd have drug frame there. But we're not, so we didn't. Have I got the green paint job on this one? I sure do. Got so many fleet stars across all 4 saves that I forget what paint jobs are on this save. But I think we stuck the teal on the white. I don't think I've ever run that paint job. It looks pretty good. This bridge always tweaks me out. I don't know why. I mean, you can fall off the side of it, but you know, you just end up tipped over. Oh, that's why, because if you tip over there, there's no way to recover. That's right. I'm having flashbacks now. If you tip into the mud off the side of that bridge, it's really hard to get positioned. Because, you know, you've only got really the bridge width to work with, because the other side of it is an open cliff. So it's just hard to get in position where you can actually put some flipping power on something. And that off-road gearbox would be real nice right about now. I think after we recover the Twinsteer here, we are... Let's see, let's set some long-term goals here. Let's get the Twinsteer today. Or Twinsteer, sorry. There's a lot of stars, a lot of steers, a lot of twins in this game, and I invariably mix them up. Because you've got the Paystar, you've got the Paystar Twinsteer, you've got the Twinsteer, You've got the Fleetsteer, or Fleet Star. See? It's terrible. And then you've got the Transstar. Truck names in the 70s and 80s were wild. But let's go get the Twinsteer, the Western Star Twinsteer. And then let's go get the Scout 800. And let's get it set up. We'll sell everything off of the Chevy and the Jeep. That should recoup enough money to appropriately set up the Scout 800. And then let's do a couple scouting episodes here, because we need to knock out some scouting, we need to find some upgrades, and we need to activate all these tasks. And then we can really dig our teeth in and just start knocking stuff out. Let's see, this is what, episode 9? Yeah. I would like to be done with, like, opening up the map and finding things in the next 2 episodes, maybe 3. By episode 15, I would like to be actually doing work. And just so you guys know, Season 1 is going to run a very long time. I've already started that naming convention. It's recorded. I'm not going to go back and change it. It's too much work. I'm too lazy. So Season 1 on my channel is going to encompass the base game and Cola, because that will be up to the end of Season 1. And then after that, I will break the playlists up into Season 2, Season 3, as we go through the DLC. So Season 1 is going to be a big mama, and then of course I will have the Master Snowrunner playlist, which is the current one, the only current playlist actually. And that will include everything chronologically. I do the courtesy of listing it by oldest published first, so that when you click on the playlist, they're already in order to watch from beginning to end. I know most people don't do that, and for those of you who are not in the YouTube world, YouTube doesn't want you to do that when you set up a playlist. As a creator, it wants you to have your newest content first, because that, in theory, is going to attract more views. The problem is, then anybody that goes to watch your series playlist either has to create their own and go in and manually add all the videos in the correct order to watch them chronologically, or you as the content creator have to make the sacrifice and say, I don't care if this is, you know, the most algorithmic or efficient way to do it. And that is the choice I am making. But I also have no intention of monetizing. I don't really care how many views or subs I get. So it's no skin off my back to present you guys with playlists that make sense. It's always been a major pet peeve of mine. I never understood why people did it that way until I got into content creation myself, and now I get it. It's totally a numbers thing to have the new content on top. But, you know, I can't stand watching a series in reverse. That drives me nuts. And I'm way too lazy to go make a playlist of my own to correct that oversight when I'm watching other people's content. But that's going to be the game plan. You'll get a Season 1 playlist when I get the moment to set it up. And that will be the base game plus Cola, which will be through Season 1. And then from there on out, we'll do each individual season will have its own playlist. And everything, as always, will be chronologically ordered in the just plain old Snowrunner playlist, including live streams and whatever else I come up with. Kind of the way I'm doing the Elite stuff. I've got just an Elite playlist, and then I've got the HGG hunting playlist, which admittedly only has 1 video in it right now, because I am incredibly lazy. And I've also been kidnapped by Snowrunner. That's okay, though. You know, we do this for fun. That is why we all play games. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to be enjoyment and diversion from life. And if you're not doing something that you find fun, then what the hell are you doing? That's my answer. Don't be a slave to a game just because you feel like you got to finish it, or because that's what all your friends are still playing. If you're not having fun anymore, go play something else. It's your time, and it's meant to be for relaxing and recharging, and if it's not doing that, then it's just a waste of time. So that's my soapbox for the day. Life is too short to play stale games. That's not to say old games either. I still play a lot of old games. There is a greater than 0% chance that you all will eventually see an original StarCraft RTS playthrough on this channel, because I've got it, I like it, and I still enjoy playing it on occasion. It's just the whim. But Elite for me right now, kind of stale. Not really enjoying the gameplay. I mean, I can get on. I've certainly jumped into position for fuel rat stuff and things like that, but I'm just not feeling it right now. So I'm not playing it right now. Come on, man, this is like the worst mud pit on Drummond. This particular corner is god-awful. Especially with these tires. I mean, I guess it could be worse. It could be highway tires. I need to find a mod that locks the camera zoom at maximum extension. I don't know that such a thing exists, but if it does, I'm gonna go find it. And I've actually, never used mods at Snowrunner at all, or Mudrunner. I guess the way people play Mudrunner these days is modded gameplay, which makes sense. I mean, there wasn't a lot of content on it to begin with. Really, the only thing you did was haul logs, and it was some variation of take this from A to B. I mean, not that Snowrunner's really that different, but at least they do have other cargoes and, you know, some kind of storyline to go along with that cargo. Mudrunner was pretty bare bones in that respect. It was really just, here's the log station, here's the sawmill, get to work. But I liked it enough that as soon as Snowrunner came off of Epic exclusivity and went live on Steam, I was buying it. And I've had a ton of fun. We're going to swing in here and grab some fuel off of this very obliging semi-trailer. And then on our way past the sawmill, we're going to grab those wood planks I talked about. I've heard people, like, be concerned about copyright strikes driving through the gas stations because of the music, and I've come through several gas stations. Maybe it's just the way I have my audio configured and it's not coming through loud enough for the YouTube auto checking to scream about it, but, you know, fingers crossed, I haven't had any issues with that. And even sitting there myself, I can't really make out any copyrighted material there. Like, I don't hear any song that sounds familiar to me. Granted, you know, I'm not a musical guru by any means, but it doesn't stand out to me. I wonder if originally maybe Saber had that copyrighted and didn't have it listed as free use on YouTube. Because, like, the ambient music and stuff, I've got that cranked up and it doesn't trip. So I assume they allow use of that in gameplay videos like they would all the other game sounds. Not really sure what the story is there. But all the same, I have been trying not to linger at gas stations. Yeah, maybe we need that weight more than I thought we did. I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait to be done, you know, slogging around trying to unlock things running empty. Do I want to drag the Jeep up here? I don't think I do. There's the Jeep. There's the Chevy. I think what we do is later we bring the Chevy over. And we refuel the Jeep and we just drive it up out of there. I don't think we drag it anywhere. Although, on our way back through, we may throw it on top of the Fleet Star. Or hell, even the Twinsteer. Well, no, the Twinsteer is going the other way. I think. I think the Twinsteer is going the other way. Nah, I take that back. The Twinsteer is definitely going the other way. It's going through the swamp. It's going back to the garage because it's, it can make it where we need it to go, but it's not going to do it very efficiently. And until we've got, you know, blow it out our rear end money, we're not going to run that truck until we can put some good tires on it. And I consider the Twinsteer mostly useless until you get the all-wheel drive upgrade on it. Although, if you want to use it, this is the map to use it on. I will say that. This is the friendliest. This in Alaska, you can almost get away with using it pretty easy. As long as you're selective about the tasks you put it to. But we won't get the all-wheel drive upgrade until we are in Kola. Which is gonna really suck, since I can't use any Russian trucks. Or any non-North American trucks. I don't know why I even gave you guys that option. That was a terrible idea. But let's see if we can do it. I've been favoring North American trucks in our multiplayer playthrough lately. Specifically to prepare myself for the hell that is to come. So we'll see. I think I've picked out a few favorites, you know. I think the, why aren't you grabbing on there? I think the Dairy 4520, or is it 4250? I can't remember. I think that's going to be our heavy high saddle hauler until we get the Dragon Wagon. We will, we'll use that one then. It's not quite where I wanted it. This crane is so persnickety sometimes. I mean, it is what it is. It's a frame-mounted loading crane. They're not meant to be efficient as much as convenient, and it does do that. I will give it that praise. And I think the FLD is going to be kind of our jack-of-all-trades, go-anywhere truck. The white could fill that role. The white Western could do that. But it's a little lower on its frame than the FLD is, and later in the deeper mud, especially in the Eurasian regions, that's going to be kind of a problem we'll have to work around. We'll see, though. Alright, we got a little weight on the tires now. Not a ton, but enough that it should make a meaningful difference, at least. And it's useful weight, because I know there are wooden bridges down there that will need to be taken care of. Now, do I have to go through that mud hole? I do. Yeah, I have to go through that one. It's this one I want to avoid, so let's just do this, that way I don't forget. Because this one's bad enough. The one after it's really deep. At least with these tires it is. It's, in Snowrunner scale, you know, it's not too terrible, but it's miserable to go through at this stage, especially when I can drive around it going over there. And that's nice dry forest, nothing to get stuck in, that kind of thing. It's work on deforesting here. Yeah, see, if you go that way, it's just a mud slog the entire way over to the gateway. And you can literally just cut right through here, and it's bone dry. See, not a care in the world. And then the only mud you have to go through is what's immediately in front of the gateway here. But going that way, it's soggy. There we go. Now we got a good view of it. Come on, Fleet Star, you can do it. Boom. Picked that one right on the edge of possibility, didn't I? Oh, back in Island Lake. Honestly, this is one of my favorite maps. As I play on it more, I really grow to like it more. It's kind of got the same desolation to it that Kola does, but in North American view. Alright, so we are going to go this way. So what we're going to do here, what happened, so we're going to go this way. We'll work our way around to the Twinsteer. We will repair the Twinsteer, refuel the Fleetsteer. Fleetstar? Fleetstar. Had to look at the list. And then we will drive the Twinsteer out this way. Take it through the gateway, take it through the swamp. And then we will bring the Fleetstar this way. Come down here, drop off our wood on the first trailer, or first bridge, and then probably leave it down here, to be honest, for the immediate future, so we have a working truck down here. Maybe. I don't know. I would like to get the Jeep on the Twinsteer, but it's not going to go through Drummond. We'll figure it out when we get there. I guess the Fleetsteer could just follow the Twinsteer. I wanted to take it back through Drummond for the same reason, but that would entail driving all the way across this map again. And I really want to get set up to do scouting the next episode. That would be ideal. Please stay on your feet. Thank you. Keep your toolboxes in the upright and locked position until the trucks come to a full and complete stop. Thank you for flying Murdoch Air. Somewhere back in here there's a fuel trailer, but I don't think I'm going to need it. There it is. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We're not even... Oh hell, I wasn't even an all-wheel drive. This way is a bit more of a mud slog, so we'll see. I may live to regret not stopping there, because the next fuel trailer is that scout trailer all the way on the other side of the lake. But you see what I mean? It's just, there's no houses, there's hardly any business. It's just swamp. Empty swamp and failing oil derricks. That drill platform has seen better days. I don't think they picked a very good spot for it. Seems to have sunken sideways, as it were. I shall call the Leaning Tower of Petroleum. See, that's the kind of stuff where you get in trouble and don't even realize it. Just a little bit of soft mud, and we about went over. But we'll manage. I have faith. We are really slogging through it. Kind of wish I had low to control some wheel spin there, but I guess it's not terrible. Front wheel's doing worse than everything else. There we go. Kind of out of it for a moment here. Using that drill platform as a reference to make sure I'm staying on the right set of roads here. Since I haven't scouted it, it's not all that useful to try and plot an actual course over here. It's just kind of in and out of the map a lot as you reveal it, and I can almost get over there just driving. Is that the log station in front of us? That feels awful fast if it is. Oh, you know what? It might be. Is there a truck in the water over there? Can't tell. Log station's got a 1500 sitting in the water. I think there's an extra Scout 800 on this map too. It's either here or in Alaska, maybe both. Not sure. Well, I have to go diff lock here. All said and done, this is a pretty... Hey, there's a semi-trailer with a bunch of wood. I think this is the log station. Boy, if that's the case, then we may just run the white down here after we scout, because we're going to scout first. So we want the upgrades for the white before we keep trying to do work. Oh, those are beams. I wonder where those go. Maybe this isn't the log station. So I don't see the 1500 sitting in the water anywhere. Oh yeah, this is not the right one. I was thinking of this one. And there is a 1500 sitting in the water over there somewhere. Oh, nope, I lied again. It's this one. There's the 1500. Well, on the bright side, we've kind of made it far enough now we can do a little route plotting and keep from losing all of our marbles. I think it's going to take most of this episode to get the Twinsteer back where we want it, though. Not quite the news I wanted. I really wanted to get it back and get a scout set up and be ready to roll. And the scout I want to get set up, I think, is actually the Scout 800. I really like that truck. It's very satisfying. You know, it's got that old school look. It clunks when it shifts. But it's also going to be a little expensive. So we're going to want the crawler suspension on it. That is what makes or breaks that truck. You put the stiffer suspensions in and it flips a whole lot more. You put that crawler in though, it's nice and spongy. Makes you feel like you're going to flip a lot more, but it does the opposite because it absorbs so much of the lateral movement. And I think they also adjusted the center of gravity when they buffed it. I know it takes carries a bit more fuel than it used to and quite a bit more in repair parts and stuff. Still doesn't tow trailers to save its life, but we don't have time to be picky right now. It'll do just fine for Michigan. And I think I will, in fact, sell the Jeep. Because I've thought about it. It's honestly the worst Scout in the game. The absolute worst possible choice is the Jeep Renegade. It is a god-awful Scout, and I'm not going to use it again willingly, so I might as well get the $1,200 out of selling it. Plus, we can only store 5 vehicles anyways. That is one of the limitations, is 5 vehicles in storage at a time. Which means all the trucks we find that we're not using are going to have to live on a map somewhere. I will probably pick one garage per region and just park everything there that isn't going with us. Then if I need it, at least I know where to find it. And there's not a bunch of driving around involved. And we can leave up to 6 in each garage, and then we can store 5 in truck storage. So I don't think we'd have to actually leave anything like parked out in the lot when we move on. I think we can just leave stuff parked in the whatchamacallit, in the garage. Let's do that. And nope, that was not what I wanted to do. There we go. And I think I deleted the last one. Sure did. If I can't figure out where I'm going by the time we get there, we're in deep trouble. And I think we'll be alright on fuel. We've got half a tank still, give or take. And the going does get a little bit easier here. Once we work our way up that way, the road that direction is markedly better than this one, I believe. Still spinning a lot. Super love some mud tires right now. Not that you can put mud tires on this truck, because you can't. Best you can do is the Jet Pack off-road tires. And they are very marginally better than the UOD2s. And if you're playing without the Jack-of-all-trades tire pack, the good rule of thumb is use mud tires when possible, and if you can't put muds on, put UOD2s on. If you are using Jack-of-all-trades, then I highly recommend you use the Snowrunner tire comparisons spreadsheet. As nerdy as that sounds, some kind folks have put together a spreadsheet that has the traction values on asphalt, dirt, and mud for every possible tire in the game, separated by tire type as well as what vehicle type it will fit. And you can go in and compare. And like I said, there's it's usually a niche improvement. For example, the Jack-of-all-trades, there is one tire available for this truck that is 0.1 better. Whatever the points are, it's kind of arbitrary. But say the mud value on the UOD2 is 1.3, then the mud value on the superior Jack-of-all-trades tire is only 1.4. It's a very slight improvement. And it's usually the same cost. But it is worth looking at. There certainly are circumstances where it's not the tire you think you want, but it is the one you want. Those in-game values of good, average, and excellent are garbage. Do not trust those. I mean, they're still generally correct, but sometimes the rubber doesn't meet the road, if that makes any sense. You're way better off looking at the spreadsheet and comparing the actual assigned traction values to the tires in various conditions. I don't know what the mud rating is for these tires, but I would guess it's under 1, or at least under 1.2. It can't be very good. Certainly feels pretty awful. I'll tell you what we might do here, because we're looking at my recording timer. I'm coming up on 40 minutes here. We're just going to let this episode run long. And we're going to stick with it as long as is needed to set up for scouting. And then after that, we will do one episode per map that still needs scouted, and I will just unlock the length on those two, and we'll go however long it takes to complete scouting each of the other maps. And once we're done with all that, well, then we can get back to our hour and a half. I know that's already kind of long, but if you're watching my stuff, you're a long-form content person anyways. I am not a shorts guy. I certainly watch plenty of them, specifically when I'm laying in bed and should be sleeping, but I'm not keen on making them. I should be. I know they get better traffic. But I'm not too concerned about it. It's not the goal of the channel here. I'm not trying to be a super channel. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun and take some people along for the ride. Oh, we are stuck here. That is not ideal. I needed smooth sailing. I don't want to be running out of gas over here. So we are going to play inchworm and just keep moving up winch points till we get back on solid ground. This does not look swampy. I hate it when the game does this. Genuinely. Like, this looks like pretty dry land. And over here, we are just right up to the axle. On the bright side, this might push the nose up. Yeah, just like that. Grabbing onto the front of the trailer does that sometimes. It's a good way to get yourself out of hot water. See, we're still buried right up to the axle. Over the axle, actually. Guess I should put on some headlights. It's getting a bit dark. Now, this stretch of the road starts to get hairy, if I remember right. Once we get through the log station, the stretch between here and the Twinsteer is pretty rough, if I recall correctly. Not made any easier by the branches that are literally just in the way. I mean, you can winch to them, but once you've winched past them and run over them, they're gone. They disappear. At least until you leave the map and come back, which resets all the terrain. That trick does work in multiplayer too. If you're playing with some friends and you guys have really tore up a particular trail and you still need to use it, have everybody move to a different map. And once everybody's off the map and the host goes back to that map, it will reset the terrain. And at least you have a fighting chance again. We have to do that pretty often. Usually because somebody got frustrated and broke out a truck that was way too big and heavy and just absolutely destroyed a mud track trying to drag something else out. But sometimes that's the best answer. I'm going to miss that ability on this save because I won't be able to just whip out the Avonhorn or the Tatarin and go drag something out of the mud because it won't be available. Actually, I don't know for sure. I'm not positive what region the Avonhorn is. That might be a North American truck, but I don't think so. If it is, it's Canadian. I'm reasonably sure it's Eurasian, though. Boy, we're going to cut this a lot closer on the fuel than I originally thought we were. Not super loving that. Not even kind of sort of loving that, to be honest. Yeah, we'll never get there at that pace. We're going to have to winch our way across here. We get right up here to it and run out of gas, I'm going to be genuinely upset. Remember that fuel trailer? Way the hell back over there? Should have stopped. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's alright, I think we will make it. Just by the hair of our chinny chin chin. If it looks real dire, I'll drop the trailer. Go refuel and come back. That wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'm pretty sure we can make the 30-odd yards here with 10 gallons left. I hear noise out there. I sincerely hope one of the neighbors isn't preparing to cut their grass. That would put a damper on my nice open window here, and I am so enjoying the fresh air. Well, there we go. Let's grab a sippy sip. Oh, not the right one. That one. And And we've still got a full tank for the Twinsteer. If it needs it, I might have already refilled it. Can I repair it this far away? Cannot. No joy. It's alright, we'll just get in here nice and cozy like. There we go. Man, that thing's in a state, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to take almost the whole trailer. That's alright, we'll just finish that trailer off repairing the Fleet Star. Pretty nearly. Ain't good for much but spare tires. I think that's going to be the mantra of this playthrough, is abandoned service trailers with nothing in them but spare tires. Unless I happen to start blowing a bunch of tires. That's also possible. So let's stick this right over here out of the way. For now. We'll come back for that at a later time. Did I not get the truck? I had to refuel it too, didn't I? Oh, the vicissitudes of Snowrunner. See, the best laid plans. I was ready to jump in it and start crawling up out of that hole. That's alright, though. We'll just back on over here and take care of business. I would love to know who the fellas in that repair trailer are talking to on that radio. Because they got that nice big whip antenna on there, but none of the trucks have any. Alright, scout fuel to Twinsteer. Hey! Rank 6. That means we've unlocked the next tire set, so we can at least put off-roads on things. And I'm running off-roads in my own hard mode, and let me tell you, that is an improvement. A major improvement in life. And we almost have the money to put some on something somewhere. But for now, let's get this big mama out of here. This thing is a beast. Now, it should, as long as I don't get too overzealous here, crawl right up out of this hole. If not, we can pull it with the Fleet Star, which looks like what we're going to have to do. I was able to get it to crawl out on my own, but I'm not prepared to waste the time I wasted getting it to do that. Not the trailer, the truck. Goofy quick winch. There we go. That's really all you need right there. If you can get it up out of its resting place there, it will carry itself the rest of the way. There we go. And that was without the diff lock even on. I do enjoy the engine sounds on this truck. I don't use it nearly enough because it's just such a pain to drive around. Turns like a city block because it's fixed frame. But when you're hauling a bunch of cargo, it is good. I mean, if you've got passably straight-ish roads, you know, something no curvier than what we're dealing with right now, it's fine for that. It even goes through mud pretty well once it's got the all-wheel. I've been using it off and on quite a bit in Yukon, because it does just tend to go. But I don't use it nearly enough. I feel like maybe if I could add other things to it, it's not going to see a lot of use for us, simply because it doesn't have a crane. And it's exuberantly expensive to load stuff automatically on this save. By design. But I'll use it for some of the bigger cargoes, like the the 4-slot drill heads and stuff like that, I can take a crane over and load this truck with a different truck. I feel like that's perfectly reasonable. That is how it is done, you know, in reality. These trucks primarily see service in oil fields and things like that. Hauling around oversized machinery. It is a behemoth of a machine. I mean, let's take a moment to appreciate how small that driver is. I mean, it looks like a truck because the rest of the truck is to scale with itself. But look at it next to a telephone pole, and compared to the driver inside, like, this is a massive machine in reality. It's sitting on like 60-inch some odd tires. Absolute behemoth. So I'll try and pull it out when it makes sense to do so. For right now, I just want to get it back to the garage and chalk up the win. And then we'll see about getting our scouting fleet arranged a bit. Hey, there's some of those. Oh nope, that's just that marker, I guess. I thought that was the creepy green eyes I was seeing. Given the time of day, we should see some over here in the swamp, though. Not seeing any right now. Try and keep an eye open for them without flipping myself. And we want to go this way. And I want to be going pretty quick. As I recall, it's the mud entering the swamp that gets you. Once you get past that, you're okay. I pretty much pulled through this entire swamp unassisted in this exact configuration in my hard mode. But you've got to get down in the swamp. It's this little runway right here is awful. Let's just go ahead and give ourselves the best possible choice here. Yeah, some of it's going to be a crawl just like this, but we will make it. Can confirm, have done it before. Still don't see any creepy eyes out there. Now, if you're going through this swamp, what you want to do is ride the telephone poles. Because that's where the road used to be, and they are also very conveniently spaced winch points. That's not the one I wanted. Now, how are you going to tell me you can reach that one, but not this one right in front of you? These guys have the shortest winch cables I've ever heard of in my life. And we're just going to ride around the telephone poles. At least this trip. You can certainly get a more capable truck and just kind of go wherever you want. I mean, there's no reason to go out over there, so I don't know how deep it is, but I'm sure there's a truck in game right now. Probably the Zix or something. The Avonhorn. Could probably just go out there and have a jolly good time if it so chose to. There's no reason for us to be going out there, though. There's no upgrades out there. There's no missions out there. We've already rescued the Twinsteer, which was over there somewhere. Ah, I know what we'll do. We'll go down, we'll drop those planks, and then we'll come back into this map, we'll grab the other service trailer, and we'll do that repair the truck mission. So we're going to have to get winch creative here. There we go. There is going to be some of that as we traverse our way over here. And we should be able to do this with the fuel we have. This thing is pretty thirsty, but without the all-wheel drive capability, it's not unreasonable. I mean, you can see it's burning 2.4 under load there, which sounds awful, but it's no worse than the Fleet Star, and it's got a considerably bigger tank than the Fleet Star. So we should be able to get all the way to the garage. It will depend mostly on how much we get hung up and how long it takes to get unhung. The only real concern I have is getting over the lip at the quarry. That can be interesting. I think last time I did need to pull myself up there. Why is it showing me the fuel tank? We're nowhere near half a tank. And if you don't know, when you hit half a tank, your fuel tanks will glow like that. Just as a visual reminder that you have hit half a tank. But we didn't take any damage or anything, so I'm not sure why they were glowing there. No fuel source over there. Hey, there's some of those green eyes. See them at the corner of the cabin there? Glowing by the trees. Right, oh, you can't see them there, but the center, as I come up, you can just see them in the edge of the trees. See if there's any more. I don't see any more. Sometimes you gotta be in just the right spot to see them. And it does help to have the headlights off. Those are in all of the base game regions, for sure. I feel like I've spotted them other places, but I can't confirm off the top of my head. This is surprisingly capable, though, even without all-wheel drive and with the stock tires on it. I mean, it's... The Fleet Star couldn't do this, not without steel beams on the back. And this thing's running unloaded. I guess I could have stuck those 2 wood planks on the back 2 slots of this. It may have helped our cause. May not have, though. Not sure. I don't know. These tires are pretty wide, so I don't know if they're actually sinking through the mud and making contact. Because if you don't know, the way the mud layers in Snowrunner work is you've got a mud layer on top of a dirt layer, and if you've got narrower tires and a heavy load, you do actually sink through the mud, and then it's your dirt traction value that's applying. But if you've got big wide tires, you don't always sink all the way through and you're stuck with whatever the mud value is. So sometimes it's advantageous to run narrower tires with a heavy load. You might get, because generally you can get way better dirt traction values than mud, regardless. And it might be on a cheaper set of tires. It's just a very situational thing. But the whole point of that spiel is I don't know what these tires are doing. They're pretty beefy. I suspect they're riding on the mud. And we've just about made it out of the swamp. It might have been smarter to have taken that branch there and come up, because this, I think, is a gentler entry. I could be wrong. What we're going to do, since we're this far along already, is we're going to come up this track and then, hopefully, right up there. But this is pretty steep. I almost wonder if going up through the trees here isn't better. The trouble is, I don't know where there's guardrail. I know there's a gap right there. I guess it might also be possible to come up, go around here, and cut up through here. Let's actually try that. Because I know for a fact this lip is sharp. It's going to be a problem with a vehicle this long. And I've never tried the other one. Why not? Why not have some fun? Let's do a check for the creepy eyeballs. Yeah, don't see any. They only show up at night, obviously. But I don't know what the, cutoff time is. Not what I wanted. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. They may not show after, 3 or 4 or something. I don't really know. probably lose the diff lock. That is going to up the fuel burn now because we're an automatic, but still, 3.5 gallons a minute, that's not awful. With the all-wheel drive and a full load crawling through mud in this thing, you can expect 6.5, pushing 7. It's a thirsty boy. We're going to have to do the 987-point Twinsteer turn here. I'm not backing up, I'm just letting it roll. And then getting back on the throttle. That is oftentimes much safer than actually going into reverse, because then you have all the switching operations in between and you end up rolling way farther than you wanted to, or you have to slam on the emergency brake or something stupid. Just let off the gas and let her roll backwards. I want to see something. Really, that's as close as I can get. I can fisheye, but I can't get in closer. I don't think there's a guardrail on the side up there. Because I can clearly see that one. It's way high. There's not much one there. I say we try to go up right here. Let's get crazy. This is also pretty flat, which makes it a great place to experiment. If we don't make it, it's a nice easy straight back down onto the path. And if we do make it, we save an awful lot of fuel getting back to the garage, because we don't have to stay on the dirt track as long. Oh, there is a guardrail here. But not right there. There's nothing to winch to, and it's going to point us the wrong direction, but I still think it's possible here. Oh, we're going to ride frame. That was bad. So, the thing to do is that. And then we'll just bring the rear end up till the front makes contact again, and we can steer. There we go. And we're just going to drive this thing like a forklift until we get up here past the quarry entrance where we can turn around. I don't remember turning those beacons on. But they are. Is it a reverse thing? Nope. Huh. Wonder when those came on. And I think we can tuck our rear end right up in there. Sorta, kinda. Don't really mind if I beat this thing up, because it's already kind of jacked up. And we're not going to use it a ton. And we'll have money soon enough to waste on repairs. Sort of. See, this is where you come up if you come up from the quarry. And it looks shallower, but it's really no better than what we did. And I was looking at coming up over here. This is all guardrail covered until right there. So I think that other path would work too, cutting through the trees and popping up right there. From this side it looks good. I don't know what it looks like on the other end there. It might be all bad. Well, I still haven't moved that trailer, as you can see. I'm going to start calling this trailer crossing. It's just kind of a fixture now. And honestly, I'm probably not going to use that trailer a ton, because there's a 5-slot sideboard on this map full of lumber, and that other 5-slot down on island full of metal beams. And I genuinely prefer sideboard beds to flatbeds. For the simple fact that if you start to roll, your cargo will come unpacked long before your truck is, like, stalled out. And a lot of times you can save yourself. But if you have a sideboard bed, even if your cargo unpacks, once you get back flat, you just have to repack it. With a flatboard or a flatbed, it just slides right off, and now you've got to stop and reload and waste time doing that. So I generally run sideboard beds instead, if I can. Sometimes I'll do flatbed, like I've got on the Fleet Star. It's, for one, it was cheaper, and for two, it is easier to winch scout vehicles up on a flatbed than it is a sideboard. You don't have the edges of the trailer, you don't have to go so high, you can have the crane higher and give yourself more slack in the line to twist the truck around, because you have to have all your tires have to be touching to be able to pack a truck or a trailer on top of another truck or trailer. Well, that was relatively painless, right about an hour. And we've recovered the Twinsteer. How about them apples? That was, honestly, all said and done, that might have been the easiest recovery we did. We did an awful lot of work to get the P16, an awful lot of screwing around with bridges and the wrong loads on trucks, and we're just not going to speak about the White Western Star ever again. I've totally blocked that experience from memory. This was pretty easy, though. Repair it, refuel it, and drive it home. And I am going to store that and stick it down here in the slot, because it is the least likely to get used anytime soon. Well, almost. We'll stick this one next to it, because I don't have the money to fix it right now. That leaves scouts. Okay, let's get scouting ready. How are we going to do that? I thought we had an extra 1,500 in here. We don't. That's okay. Did I not recover that one yet? No, that must be the one we had. Oh yeah, because I didn't start with a 1,500. That's what it was. Started with that damn Jeep. Well, let's go get said Jeep and pull it out of its watery hole. And then we're just going to sell all the upgrades off of the Jeep and off of this truck. And we're going to run the Scout 800. The argument could be made, and should be made, that the CK-1500 here is the superior Scout to run at this moment in time, because it is. It hauls more repair parts, it's wider, it's stabler, and it tows trailers way better. But this isn't about doing things the easy way. It's about doing things the hard way. And the 800 can tow trailers. That's my big hang-up with the Jeep, if I'm being totally honest. It actually has a remarkable ability to stay on its feet. But it cannot tow a trailer at all. And that is a problem. Because we are going to want trailers. When we hit Cola, the only way to really explore the map is to tow a trailer. Or buy an Earth Roamer. Hey, I can use Earth Roamers. Those are North American. I haven't bought that DLC yet, and they're expensive. The point is, it's possible. And North American only trucks is really limiting. Although I will say, I think overall there are more North American vehicles in the game than there are Eurasian vehicles overall. It's just that the Russian trucks are so much more capable. It's ridiculous. Absolute blatant bias towards Russian vehicles by the devs. But we'll make do. Let's make sure we're full of fuel, because that is the thing the Jeep is missing, and we are not. Oh, I don't have the... Oh, come on. I thought I had the trunk supplies already installed, and I don't. That complicates things, so we'll give half a tank to the Jeep and hope that both of them can make it back to this fuel station. And then I think we just flat tow the Jeep back with this thing. They both have to go back. I'm not paying to recover either of them. I don't have a truck particularly handy to stick them on and drive them back in. And the argument could certainly be made that I'm wasting time right now, and I could be scouting while I'm setting up the 800, but I just want to get everything locked in. I want to be, ready to go, because we're going to run that Scout 800 until we've got, absolutely screw you money. And then I'll buy an Apache, and that'll be our Scout forevermore after that, I think. I guess we can use the 750. It's North American. Just won't get it until we're in Russia. Which is hilarious. I think I should get a Russian truck of my choice, because there's a North American truck in Russia. Don't ask me how that makes sense. Because I don't know. I don't even know what I would choose, to be honest. If I had to pick one Russian truck to bring with me, what would it be? Of course the Jeep's going to do better than the pickup truck. Who saw that coming? Oh, because the Jeep has diff lock, doesn't it? It sure does. Oh, get in low gear. That spike on the save is god-awful. And this mud is deep. Come on. And this thing is ridiculously fuel efficient, I gotta give it that. Well, I guess we're going to drag it back in opposite order. We'll take the truck back with the Jeep, since the Jeep seems to be the more capable right now. That's what I mean, though. We have got to do some upgrade hunting for sure. At least with the 800, it's already got diff lock, because it's always engaged. The only real upgrade we need for that is the Snowrunner box. Come on, Nelly. I wonder if it knows we're going to sell it. I think it knows. I think it knows. I think it'll act up on the trip back just because of that. take a minute and turn that truck around. It's probably easier to tow forward. I don't know that for sure, but I'm gonna guess. What do you know? Quick winch went where it was supposed to, and then I released it. Can't win. Come along, Jeeves. Whoa. Man, this thing is squirrely. The 800 ain't much better. Well, it's a little better. Once you get the big fat tires on it, it's less apt to shimmy side to side like that. And we are towing something, which is making it way worse. This Jeep ain't got no sway control, I can tell you that. Well, that was easier than I expected, and took less time than I anticipated. We won't have to run too awful long at all, I don't think. I was anticipating like a 3-hour episode when I originally said, let's just knock it all out, you know. But it's not looking like it's going to take quite that long. I think we can do it in under 2. And I'm okay with that. No, I didn't mean for you to drive backwards. Here. Oh, that's a neat trick. Put the e-brake on the winching vehicle, and you can kind of control the other one. Alright. Let's carry on here. Get some line let out. All I did there was kill the engine on the truck, and then it stretched out the winch line again because it wasn't creeping up on me like that. But what I meant is if you want the distance to close and you don't want to use the winch, you can e-brake the front vehicle, hold down the throttle, and the back vehicle will keep driving, because it didn't get the memo about the e-brake. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Why did you guys let me do that? We knew this was deep. That's alright. We'll just let the Chevy push us through. How does it get that there's no winch points? How can it reach that tree, but not that tree right there? Like that one I get, but that one? It's right there. Not the truck, the tree. Oh, for God's sakes. Yep, crawling up out of the mud. I was about to scream if it went to the tree instead. It's exactly the way this game works, though. This is a game you learn to love to hate. It's alright, though. It's still fun, somehow. Definitely Type 2 fun. Alright, other than this other one big mud hole up here, this should be a pretty straightforward cruise back to the garage. And we will drop off, I'm going to say, the Jeep, and we'll take the Chevy over to get the Scout 800. Because we don't really need diff lock where we're going over there. And I think, traction-wise, I think the truck actually does a smidge better. Well, maybe not. The Jeep does have the Jeep tires on it. We'll take the Jeep over. We'll give it a last ride. A last hurrah. I'm not going to sell the pickup, though. We're going to keep it around. There may come a day we need it. I just don't see a need for the Jeep. It doesn't offer any capability the Scout 800 won't give us. In fact, it offers less. At least the truck is comparable to the Scout 800. I think it hauls more repair points, and it definitely tows trailers better, but we're not going to just break it out left and right, you know. If we needed to rescue something, or we run into something the Scout just absolutely can't do within reason, then we'll switch over. Try and stay out of the mud here and shorten this trip up as much as possible. And we are almost done with the collecting things, and then we can just get to work. I'm excited about that, unreasonably so. I feel like we've spent way too many episodes just trying to get stuff ready. And we still haven't, like, staged fuel or anything. We'll just kind of do that as we go, I guess. It's kind of on brand at this point. But I'm definitely going to try and do a better job of setting up in Alaska. But we'll be arriving in Alaska with a well-kitted Scout and some well-fit trucks, which means we won't have to rely on substandard equipment to get going. We should be able to just dive right in and scout out all 4 maps, and then start work to recover the trucks. There's fewer of those. There's the Royals over there. There's another 800 over there. And the big Cat 745. I will definitely want that. But in my opinion, they're all easier recoveries. Well, maybe not the Royal. And honestly, the Cat's in a really awkward spot, too. Oh, the dairy. There's a dairy Longhorn over there. We can grab that. That'll be our first kind of purpose-made high saddle hauler. I don't like it as much as the other dairy because it's got a tag axle that just tends to get in the way. It does have the power, though. It's got the power, it's got always-on diff and 4-wheel. So it definitely gets around pretty well. Sucks back the fuel, though. Of course, that's kind of the case with all of those big, heavy options. The Kolobs do it, the Zix does it, the Avonhorn does it. All 3 of the dairy trucks do it. You start getting into those big, really capable vehicles, and they just suck back the fuel. And this didn't take as long as I thought. We're doing way better. See, I told you. All I really needed in life was another cup of coffee to get me sorted. Oop, bonk. That one little bonk messed up our rear bumper. You gotta be kidding me. It was not that jacked up when we left earlier. Should run the engine on that truck, though. That was the problem. I shut it off trying to switch regions, and then it didn't have any brakes. If you've got the engine running and you stop, it'll stop. Otherwise, your only option is to drop your winch, which will kick the e-brake on. But you gotta be a little lighter on your feet than I generally am to catch that in that moment. Now we're talking wide open roads. Well, sort of. Gotta dodge the boulders. I will give this thing this. It cruises. I may not be a big fan of it, but when it's got room in front of it to run, it will do exactly that. I am going to miss these Jeep tires, because they're reasonable in mud and everything. In fact, let me take a peek at the spreadsheet here. I'm sure it lists them. Let's see. These are the OJ ones. OS ones. No, OJ1, Jeep. 3 on asphalt, 2 in the dirt, 1.2 in the mud. Well, those actually aren't that great a tire. They give a lot of these trucks proprietary tires, which sounds like the best tire for it. Or a good all-rounder tire. And in some cases it is. But apparently not for the Jeeps. They're not terrible. I mean, they do get around well on pavement. They do passably well in the dirt. But as just recently discovered, they are garbage in the mud. Passed the cutoff, didn't I? No, I didn't. Let's put a marker on it so I don't miss it. So we all know I will, if I don't. Personal space much? Thank you. All up in my business. I am not looking forward to all them logs. That is going to be a little bit of a slog. So I don't believe I can get medium logs in Drummond. I think they're longs only. Or maybe the longs are only in Black River. If I can get mediums in Drummond Island, that's not so bad. The cargo container mission's gonna suck. Just because we don't have any big trucks. I mean, we got the Twinsteer, but getting it in and out of down there is awful. It's in a very inconvenient location. I think the last time I used the white. Which is probably what we'll do again. That white Western Star is hard to beat this early in the game. It is a absolute powerhouse of a truck. It's nice and low, it's good and heavy. Takes all-wheel and diff lock, but they're not always on, so you can get good fuel efficiency where possible. And it takes most of the add-ons, so it's just a good truck at this stage of the game. And beyond. Whoa! Pretty sure these both have autonomous winches, but let's not test that theory. I know the Jeep does. I remember we struggled quite a bit. Oh yeah, I need to turn all-wheel back on. We struggled quite a bit to get the money for it, as I recall. I will say, I didn't realize that I had set module full refund up. I was a little bit shocked when I jumped into my hard mode save and realized I was only getting back like 30 to 50% of the cost of a module. Which I guess I should have set up on this. I can still change it. Might go ahead and do that. After this one, though. I'm definitely going to give myself this one, where I sell these pieces and parts off. Actually, no, we're not. I'm going to leave that at 100% refund. Because doing North American, I'm going to be shuffling some trucks around, and I may need to sell things or buy multiples that I don't need long term. So I'm going to give myself that little piece of easy. I'm already getting next to nothing out of trucks and trailers, so might as well get a full refund on the light bar I decided I didn't want, right? Whoa. Get back on the road there, Jeep. Out of the Jeeps, this is... Even out of the two Jeeps, this is the bad Jeep. Come on. Random North America Scout. I could have got a Lodestar. Could have got the Apache. Just had to give me the Renegade, didn't you? Even the game's out to get me. I think we can finish this episode in under 2 hours. Got an hour and a half on my clock right now. Probably a little less for you guys once I edit it down. Probably at about 28 minutes. Or an hour and 28 minutes, sorry. But it's not going to take super long to go get the Scout. And run it back over. And we're almost to the garage, so I think that's a half-hour job easy. Then we can get everything set up and be ready to roll for the next one. Get all this scouting cleaned up and done, and get all the upgrades unlocked. Hopefully make a little cash here and there with some scouting tasks so we can afford to upgrade the white and get it ready to do some real work. I will say I enjoy the later cargo missions a lot more. In Michigan here, it's a lot of teaching you to play the game, and a lot of the missions are, you know, go scout 5 places or repair this truck and drag it back, and I don't enjoy those nearly as much as just the raw logistical, you know, I need 10 metal beams, 4 metal planks, some wooden boards, some bricks, some concrete slabs. I really enjoy this. I know a lot of people find that boring. A lot of people hated Yukon for that. And I have had a blast in Yukon. I will say the terrain is a challenge. There's a lot of mud over there. But the cargo missions are fun. Kind of got a taste of that in Tamir. The mud in Tamir is legendary, though. The worst part is going to be not being able to use the Russian trucks. I am going to find them all, and I'm going to drive them back to the garage for sure. And well, we might sell them. If I can't use them, I should at least be able to sell them. They're 10% value. I think that'll be the next poll. Should I be able to sell the Russian trucks off? Or do I have to drag them to a garage, or drive them or drag them to a garage and leave them there to taunt me? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave them where they sit. There's no reason to burn fuel and all that, dragging them back if I can't use them. I mean, I guess we could RP a reason to do so, but I would rather just work the missions myself. And also, with the repair costs, some of them are going to need to be repaired, and that is literally a waste of money to repair a truck that I then get but can't use. So I think we'll just discover them and leave them where they sit. Which breaks my heart. And now that I've thought about it, if I had to pick one Russian truck, it's not a truck, it's a Scout, I would take the Tatarin in a heartbeat. Because when all else fails, you can pull that thing out and flip yourself, drag yourself out of a mud hole. Whatever the case, it's ready to go. If I had to pick a runner-up, it would be the 6455B Taiga. Which I'm sure somebody is thinking is an odd choice. Most people would take the newer Taiga. And it is objectively a better truck. I just like the older one better. It's got a mean, nasty, Cold War, you know, find out look to it. I kind of like that. It's also a very capable truck in its own right. It's still better than most of the North American trucks. Alright, one scout dropped. Off to get the Scout 800. Whoa. Might want to ease up on the throttle there, Slick. Now, let's see. What's the best way to get where we're going? Honest to God, if we can pull it off right up this hill. I don't know if we can or not, but let's turn this into a quick adventure. Honestly, that looks doable. For the specific purpose we're putting this side trip to, I think this is a great way to go, actually. Come on. Well, that cut out almost all the driving. Not mad at that at all. We can go right back down the same way, too. And there is our Scout 800 with its rare paint job, as it turns out. And since I could care less about this Jeep, we're going to tow it back with the Scout. The bone stock Scout. No fancy tires, no nothing. And if we roll something, no big deal. Jeep's got an autonomous winch on it. We do, in fact, have the technology. Oh, that's not a breakable tree. Okay, we didn't mess up the nose. I would prefer it if I didn't have to spend money immediately repairing this truck to make it look good. Which admittedly is not at all a requirement. But I am trying to keep all the trucks in pretty good nick. And it's greatly helped by not beating them up in the first place. Oh, get back on the road. Here we go. Oh, what a day. This was a highly productive episode, I think. Which is a nice change of pace. It's been pretty hit or miss all over the place with me lately. So I am not at all mad that we got some stuff done. And I well beat the 2-hour mark. It's only an hour and 40 minutes. We barely ran over. But since I already mentally committed, I think we'll take a minute and go ahead and set up the International Scout here. We'll sell off the bits and bobs and get this thing ready for scout duty. I would love to have one of these. I've been looking for a couple of years now, trying to find one in a dry region that's not all rusted out, because if I find any here in the Midwest, they're going to be shot. The trouble is, all the ones I find are either the topless pickup models that will not fare well in Ohio most of the year, or somebody's chopped them up and made some kind of custom job out of them, and that's not what I want. It would be a project either way. But if I were going to restore an old vintage car, I would love to have one of these things. Oh, don't run into me, you dirty bastard. It's just because you knew you're getting replaced. Let's put you in the garage. Oh, wrong truck. In the garage with you. And you. Alright, let's start by selling off bits and pieces. We will put the stock motor back in that. Can't remember what engines the Scout takes. Okay, it takes that one. No hit to gas mileage, so we'll do that. We'll sell that. We'll go back to that. We're going to keep that Snowrunner box because we're definitely going to want that. We never upgraded that. Let's put stock trash tires back on it and sell the all-terrains we were running. Got anything else that can be sold? I don't think so. Nope. We'll go back to the Scout winch. We'll keep that autonomous winch. It's going right back on the other truck. Sell the tall mushroom. Oh, I bought a roof rack and then didn't use it. That was dumb. And we'll go back. Oh, we never changed off the stock bumper. Didn't put any of those on. Do that. Sell the toe loops. Woo. Nothing in there. Alright, so we'll keep that. Now the Jeep. You never had anything with the stock engine. Let's put crash tires on you. Sell the OJ1s. Go back to stock suspension. Sell the raised. We did the tires. Go back to stock winch. I only need one autonomous. Can't sell that. Never bought that. Never bought that. Alright. Stock bumper. No roof fog lights. Stock bumper still there. Didn't buy any of those. Alright. This one we're actually going to sell. So first you have to retain the vehicle into storage. Then you go into storage. Then you can sell. Boom. Oh, that's interesting. It force stored the P16 to make room. Didn't realize it would do that. I thought it would tell me it was full. Alright, let's get this bad boy out. She's got the top engine in her, which didn't cost us anything in terms of fuel mileage. See, it's still S-rated consumption. This is a little power lacking. The pickup truck does better, but we can live with that. We are going to spring for that crawler suspension. So we'll sell the stock and the raised. Tires. Now we can have some fun. Let's see. For Scout tires, we should have unlocked everything now, I think. Here's the off-roads. Do we have the muds? Oh, the muds are still locked. I could buy the Jats, but I'm not going to, because the way I'm handling those is if I haven't unlocked the stock tire, I'm not allowing myself to purchase the Jat variants. So we are going to have off-road tires. I'm going to consult. Does this show if I drag it up here? It does not. That's okay. I would have just ended up doxing myself anyways. Always better to check that kind of stuff off recording. So what are our options here? The OS off-road tires. For scouts. Okay, here we are. OS1 is 1 on the asphalt, 2 on dirt, 1.2 on mud. Looks like 1.2 is the best we're going to get on mud. However, I think we want the OS2s. Those are the best overall. They're a little worse on pavement than the OS3s, but a little better in the mud. No, scratch that. They're a little worse on pavement and dirt and a little better in mud. And let's go with the 3s. We'll be alright. Throw the autonomous on there. Spare wheel. I don't want the spare wheel. There's a reason for it. Oh, we can't put a snorkel on that yet. I want the expanded trunk parts and the roof rack. What do I need for the snorkel? 14? Good lord. That's a robbery. It's alright, we'll get by without it, I guess. We already have the fog lights. They come on the roof rack. Well, that's not a great bumper, but it's better than that bumper. Now, I don't generally put anything on the undercarriage I don't actually need. Like, those are cool. They look good. But the only thing they serve to do is catch on things and drag in the mud. So, like, I might put a sun visor on, but I'm not going to do the side steps. And the same thing with, like, the Rizvani Scout. You want to watch out. Don't put the, like, all the extra fender wells and stuff on. It just catches stuff. I kind of like those rims. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is a rare paint job for the Scout 800B. There weren't many of these made with this paint job on them. So I kind of like that. I do have this wrap job that came in one of the DLC kits I bought. I'm not crazy about it. I don't like the artwork. I don't really like the color scheme, if I'm being honest. And then there's the standard selection of solid colors, of which I kind of like the 3 blues. This one's more of a teal. I traditionally run one of these 2 blues on it. And then there's the factory 2-tone jobs that did come on it. But I think we're going to stick with that default just because now I know it's got a little specialness to it. Let's look at some stickers. I would love to know what all these ones in Russian say. I think that'll work. Thought there was a mud up or shut up. Apparently not. Do that one. Not super obtrusive. And I'm not spending money on any of these, but there are accessories you can put in here. I spend very little time in the cab, so I'm not going to waste time on that. But now we're all set up. When we come back for episode 10, we will be ready to knock out our scouting. So let's look and see what needs scouted still. Okay, there's upgrades over here. We need to come back and get these. So we'll do that. We'll knock out this last 2 watchtowers. even though this one doesn't gain us much. We still need to pull the C70 out of its hole over there. We'll take the P16 over to do that. There's a truck there that needs pulled down to the farm. There's a truck there that needs pulled down to the farm. And one over here that needs pulled down to the farm. Those are tasks, and we're going to scout. Let's focus. Focus, Murdoch. So we'll come back, we'll get those upgrades. What do we need on Smithville? Everything. Everything is the answer. That's an episode in itself, because there's upgrades that have to be found too. Drummond, I think, is mostly done. Yeah, we're missing 3 watchtowers, so not nearly as done as I thought. So, scouting. Scouting is what lies ahead. But let's pop out of the garage here. Ooh, she wanted to go right off the gate. You see with the crawler suspension, it's a lot more wobbly, but it soaks it up. It doesn't actually tip, even though it looks like it really wants to. Brakes are pretty good. I can live with that. I haven't spent a ton of time in this since they buffed it. The last time I really used the Scout 800 was right after the game came over to Steam, and I don't think they had buffed this truck yet. Let's just make sure we've got everything filled up. Ooh, we don't. This thing just carries fuel for days. So what we got? We got a tank and a half on the roof, and another tank and a half. So that's 4 tanks of gas in total. This thing will carry 4 tanks of gas on it. I dig it. And of course we've got our low gears where we can really get down and crawl. Yep, that's the bee's knees right there. Alright guys, well, thanks for bearing with me. I think we'll start making real progress now. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time for episode 10. Thanks for watching.